Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Makakwadash, the honor to my apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation, all the brothers doing this work in truth and in sincerity. Shalom. This right here is a poem that this guy, this older guy, Jake, has been coming to the camp lately for the past 3 weeks. He has been coming up to the camp, listening, pointing out a couple points and saying a couple words. And he's been, flowing. He's been, I believe that the spirit is indeed dealing with this man. It's an older Jake. He an old head, man. But, the Lord, has been, waking him up to the truth that he's an Israelite. He's an older man. So it's a great thing that he's, in his age and he's coming out there, every Sunday. The past 3 weeks he has been out there. And today, actually, he brung this poem that he wrote, concerning the slavery of our people, and it's pretty neat. And I was thinking, and the brother said I should do a video on it, so here it is. And I just wanted you brothers to hear this poem that this man wrote through the Spirit. It says stacked. He said stacked, but it means stacked like sardines on a slave ship. Over 100 million perished on that treacherous trip. And that's talking about going back to the transatlantic slave trade as it is known in Esau's history books. But it's also known, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68 in the scriptures. This is continuing on. Sharks would follow the ships, knowing they would be fed. And that's with any animal, because our people was being thrown overboard into the waters. So, and them sharks being smart, being animals that wanted to eat, of course they're gonna follow the ships, to get a meal, man, for them jakes that they was throwing off the side of the ship. It continuing on. It says feeding off the rebellious, sickly, and the dead. Because our people were rebellious. Our people were rebellious. That's why we had to go through this. And our people, some people may have been sick, and some may have died from the conditions on the ship. Continuing on, bounded, gagged, tortured, and raped, because our people were bound with chains, fetters of iron, gagged, having they can't talk, or probably cut out their tongue, or whatever if they said something, whatever the case may be, man. Starved, sodomized, and humiliated, because our people were, they didn't get no food, they probably died from starvation, and they were sodomized, man, because these so-called white people are fucking faggots, man, popping men up the rectums and humiliating our people, man, putting them to an open shame. Once they arrived at different locations, they were sold off to various plantations. And this is a very known fact, man. This is what happened. Our people were shipped on auctioning blocks. Well, they were sold off of auctioning blocks, man. Continuing on, they were sold off to various plantations. Slaves built this country with their blood, sweat, and countless tears, treated less than dogs for 400 years. Because we have been in America for about, probably, about 400 years, man. We have been here. I think next year we'll make 400 years. I'm not sure. But we have been here for almost 400 years, 300, 400 years. And that's how we have been treated like dogs, And the dog doesn't get treated well. Continuing on to the next page, it says harvesting cotton, tobacco, and sugarcane, and they have this in their history books, man. So-called white people, they have it in their history books, because when our people got over here, we was slaves. That means free labor, man. Working sun up till sundown, even in the rain. And these crackers didn't give a damn, man. They didn't give a fuck if it was raining. Enslaved to a society so full of hate, and these so-called white people hate us, even though we have did everything, for them, been their fucking slaves, cooked their food, raised their children, fed them, cooked for them, raised, man. We don't did countless things, built up America, man. And these motherfuckers got some and they got the fucking nerve. They still hate us, man. That's that old hatred going back to the, that blessing, man. They would use little black babies for gator bait, and that's what they did, man. That's what they did. They used our babies, little infant babies, for gator bait, man. To catch crocodiles, to catch gators, man. Just to have gator shoes or so, whatever the case may be. To sell its skin, whatever it is, man. That's how you caught them fucking alligators, man. And if this is the land of the free and the home of the brave, why am I still on the plantation and still treated as like a slave? And that's all we are. And that's all we will ever be to these fucking crackers. A fucking slave. And in this day and time, we have been emancipated. We're slaves of the state, man. Just because they pay us money now, don't mean shit, man. Continuing on, it says, so how can we move on, put it in the past, and just let go? By remembering what you reap is what you sow. And that's one thing that Yahweh Shah said. He said that what a man reapeth, that what he may also sow. So you so-called white people have reaped slavery, and you're gonna sow the same, man. You have put our people in slavery and hardcore bondage, killed our women, raped our children, sold us on auctioning blocks, and you're gonna reap what you sow. Everything that you did, that will come back on you, man. And I hope this was a good uplifting poem for you brothers, man. It's just through the spirit. I just did this video about it because it's a very informational and very uplifting poem, man. It's very nice, and I read it, and I'm not the type of dude to be. I wasn't into really poetry, but this is a nice poem considering the truth, man. And it's that man. He said he's pretty good at it, man. And each brother has different gifts in this way, in that manner, in this manner, man. And this is a beautiful poem, man. I'm gonna read it one more time, and I'm gonna close it out. It says, stacked like sardines on a slave ship, over 100 million perished on that treacherous trip. Sharks would follow the ships knowing they would be fed, feeding off the rebellious, sickly, and the dead. Bound, gagged, tortured, and raped, starved, sodomized, and humiliated. Once they arrived at different locations, they were sold off to various plantations. Slaves built this country with their blood, sweat, and countless tears, treated less than dogs for 400 years. Harvesting cotton, tobacco, and sugarcane, working sun up till sundown, even in the rain. Enslaved to a society so full of hate, they would use little black babies for gator bait. And if this is the land of the free and the home of the brave, why am I still on the plantation? In the home of the brave, why am I still on the plantation and treated like a slave? Yeah, Khan. So how can we move on, put it in the past, and just let go? By remembering what you reap is what you sow. And he put his name, I think his name is right, Lang Ablesi, Israel. Is his name. He gave it to the brother Ara. He gave his poem to the brother Ara. The brother Ara gave it to me. And I decided to do a lesson on it because it's a very, I like this poem. So with that, I hope you brothers was edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah. Kwam Yasha Allah, death to America. Shalom to the elect. Lord willing, that man is a man of the Lord, man. Lord willing, he make it. So with that, I'm going to say shalom to the elect. Kwam Yasha Allah, and death to America. Shalom.